pass, Gaudreau is score!
Let's talk about Johnny Hockey's sort of history and impact here in the city. It's a big question, but how do you see it?
I think that he is on the short list. I mean, he would be on the Mount Rushmore. I honestly do believe that for Calgary Flames hockey. Obviously, sort of him deciding at the last second to move to Columbus may have, for the past couple of years, sort of changed fans' immediate reaction to him. And there was some booing when he was at the Saddledome. But I'll be honest, I've seen a lot of guys get booed. Calgary's heart wasn't in it when they were booing Johnny. I think there was still a love and appreciation for his time here. I mean, you look at it, he's fifth all-time in points. He's, I believe he's top 10 in goals scored. But I more importantly think, when he sort of arrived in Calgary, this guy who had been drafted in the fourth round, he was undersized, and he kind of shows up really in 2014. And it had been 10 years since the Cup run in 2004. And I do think that hockey in Calgary it had lacked some excitement, and he reinvigorated it. I mean, that period sort of between 2014 and 2022, people really believed that the Flames might be building towards being a cup contender, and weren't all that far off in the end. But he was so much fun to watch, and I really just think he was a jolt of energy for the hockey community here in Calgary. Yeah.
What's for you the defining? I mean, I think I know what you're going to say, but what's for you the defining on-ice memory of Johnny Hockey in a Flames jersey?
Game 7.
Yeah,
2022.
baby.
Yeah.
Took it up high. Gaudreau scores!
I mean, it's an amazing hockey play just because he fires it in. But, the Stars goaltender, Johnny Gaudreau, had absolutely stood on his head. And there was this pressure that was building on the Flames franchise. They hadn't been able to win a playoff series. And then for Johnny, as I said, the catalyst for so many great memories here in Calgary, for him to be the one to fire it in. And then I was in the Saddledome that night, and it was utterly magical. It was something I'll remember forever. So, it's the obvious one, but sometimes the obvious one's the obvious one for a reason, right?
What are you seeing in terms of the way that, your community in Calgary and the wider hockey community is reacting to what we now know?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the hockey community in Calgary is still waking up to this. Yeah. There is going to be real heartbreak and real hurt, and this is, as I said, this is a real tragedy, and that's the first thing. I think with the hockey world, there's just shock, and I think that Johnny Gaudreau is one of the best hockey players in the world and has been, and I think that there is a grieving process that is going to take place for just about everybody in the hockey community over the coming weeks and coming months. These things take time, and grief is unpredictable, and it will take probably a long time for the hockey world to recover from this.